This is the Schmo with the Pro. He's 13-1. He's on a 10-fight win streak. The natural Caio Borrahlo in the flesh. Las Vegas, Nevada. The Schmo Zone Studios. How we doing?
Very good, man. Very happy to be here with you. But before we start, let's get properly done, right?
That's what I like to say. Now it's time. Hey, when'd you move to the yellow lenses? The Schmo's been noticing you doing that inside the UFC. We like the touch.
Yeah, always after my fights, I put this lens, this yellow lens, because it's good to light. So when I get to do interviews and there's a lot of lights on me, so I put it and I'm okay with it,
You're preaching to the choir. That's what the Schmo says. Every time we're octagon side, all those bright lights, the yellow. It's great.
Exactly. I get blind after that if I don't put this lens.
You're thinking smart. You got to protect those eyes for the long haul.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Now talk to the Schmo for a second. You're coming off that victory, UFC 280. You're here in Las Vegas getting some treatment, getting some work done on your hand, man.
I had 6 weeks. I had thumb surgery. I injured my last fight, so I'm recovering day by day. I have like 6 or 8 more weeks. And I'm doing the PT sessions here in the PI. The FC is doing everything for me, so very happy to be here.
You trying to get on that next UFC pay-per-view card, the one that's in Brazil? Is that too soon? Is that what you're gunning for? What do you want to do next?
Actually, the UFC called me to go to the Brazil to fight in the real card, but it's too soon because I still need like 6, 8 more weeks of working with PT sessions and stuff. So, but I want to fight in the London card and after another pay-per-view on London card after Perth. So I think that card would be awesome for me.
That'd be stacked. That's in March. The London card, absolutely, back in the O2 Arena.
Yeah, March 18. Imagine go inside, crazy like inside the O2 would be awesome, man. I can't wait.
What about opponent for you? The Schmo knows you've called out a guy like Dricus du Plessis, who recently beat a guy that you've trained with, Darren Till, over here at the last UFC pay-per-view in Vegas. But who's a guy that you want to fight?
Yeah, actually, Dricus du Plessis is a great fight for me, but I think he's too much in the top right now, so I don't think it's my time to call him out and stuff. I know where I am right now. So I want like a top 20 opponent, something like that. I called Fluffy after my last fight. I heard he's injured, but I hope he gets well soon and we can fight on the card. I hope.
Redeem the victory against Fluffy Hernandez for Rodolfo, the legend in Brazil.
Yeah, exactly. The Jiu-Jitsu community needs this victory. I want to avenge this guy. And after that, you know what? I feel like Avenger. I will first avenge the Rodolfo Vieira to the Jiu-Jitsu community. And after that, I will get a top 50 guy with Dricus du Plessis and we avenge my brother Darren too,
Yeah, let's talk about the brother Darren Till and maybe Khamzat Chimaev, the Smesh Bros. The Schmo was intrigued when you linked up with the Smesh Bros. Obviously, you came off those big victories in the Contender Series. You've been undefeated in the UFC. And you joined the Smesh Bros, man. Why did you decide to join those guys?
Yeah, actually, it was a good invite from the guys from Block Acid. I closed a deal with the guys from Block Acid, and they called me up and said, "Oh man, do you want to come here and train with Khamzat in Sweden? And then we make good content of you and stuff." I was like, "Fuck yeah, man! I want to train with the best guys in the world." I know Khamzat is a very good guy. I knew he was coming from wrestling background and stuff, so I said yes right away. They paid me everything, my flight ticket, my food, everything my treatments over there, everything that I needed. And they brought me to Vegas. They pay me everything. So shout out to the guys from Block Acid, and it was a good month training with those guys.
Shout out to those guys. So training with those guys, what's the biggest thing you learned about yourself?
Oh yeah, this is interesting because Andreas, the general, the Khamzat coach, he said something. It was a lot of technical development for my part and everything, but there was something that he told me, and after that, I just clicked. I had a click in my mind. He told me like, You're doing a great job. You work hard, but just stop suffering. Like, stop showing people that you are suffering to work hard and stuff. And I think everything will come along. And then I caught this up, I put it inside my head and stop all this suffering. And I'm like, everything's coming along. I closed a deal with Steak. I closed a deal with Hollerhead. I closed a deal with Block Acid and all these guys. So I'm doing good, man. I'm very happy.
He's an entrepreneur. Shout out to Andreas the General for helping you see that through. So talk to the Schmo for a second, man. Darren Till, he didn't have Khamzat Chimaev in his corner. Obviously, he trained over in Thailand for this camp, but were you surprised to see Khamzat not cornering Darren Till in this most recent bout?
Yeah, I was a little surprised, but not too much because I know Hamza is doing work in Abu Dhabi, so he was working hard. I don't know when is his next fight, but that's why he didn't come because he had some work to do over there. And Darren did a great camp in Thailand. He was very ready, like mentally and physically, to this fight, but it is the fight game, you know. So I was there in the arena. I was screaming a lot like crazy because I want so bad to fight this Dricus guy. So let's see how it goes.
Certainly, man. Maybe you'll get that opportunity down the line. But Darren till Khamzat Chimaev, you're a fellow Smesh Bro too. What do you think's next for Khamzat Chimaev? Do you think he's fighting at 170? Do you think he's fighting at 185? Borrachina has been calling him out, stole the hat from the Schmo, and he took it. I mean, what do you think's next for Khamzat Chimaev?
Yeah, I think it's hard to say when it comes to Hamza. He's a crazy guy. He does whatever the fuck he wants and stuff. So I don't know if he wants to come down to keep down to 170 and fight like Kobe, like the guys were saying about London card and Kobe Covington and stuff. But I don't know if it's real or not. And in 185, he has a bunch of guys to fight. There's a lot of guys that are actually calling him out and stuff. But I think it's a tough fight for any division. So I think he'll do good in any division.
And let's talk about what's going on in your division, the middleweight division. Robert Whittaker. They all thought he'd be fighting Borrachina, Paulo Costa. Paulo Costa wants more money. Robert Whittaker without a fight. What makes sense for him? Maybe it is Dricus du Plessis if they want Robert Whittaker to stay on that card. But what do you think should be next for Robert Whittaker?
Actually, he's a guy that's doing good in the division for long years. He just lost to Adesanya, but he's beating all the other guys. So he's number one contender, maybe?
Yeah, number two. Number one would be Israel Adesanya.
I think this fight with Borrachinha is the fight that makes more sense for me. They were supposed to fight last year. I was there with Borrachinha helping him in his training camp for 10 days to this fight. And then Borrachinha just got out of the fight because he got a little bit sick and stuff. And then now they got this fight, but it's not confirmed yet. But I think the fight that is most right for him, He and Borrachinha, maybe after that, the winner gets almost like title shot or one fight after the title shot, something like that, maybe. So
you've trained with Borrachina, you trained with Khamzat Chimaev. Who's the toughest guy you've ever trained with? Who's given you the most fits inside the practice room?
For sure, the hardest guy to train is Hamza. He's a very hard guy to train about his style, his wrestling background. He's very good at wrestling. He goes hard all the rounds. I think he's one of the hardest training to do. I've been training with Sean Strickland and Curtis. He's very tough guys. Hard training. Training with Sean Strickland is very hard too because he always push you forward, like screaming at your face and stuff. But I think Hamza is the guy who is most difficult to train with for sure. But it's the guy that I developed myself most, so.
Who do you think won the fight between Strickland and Killer Gorilla?
To be honest, I think Killer Gorilla, Cannonier did a great job, like throwing bombs and stuff. He seems to be more like winning of the fight. But if you see the stats and if you really see the skill set and stuff, I think Strickland got the fight, got the win. But, we never know what the judges are judging, a fight or a skill set, so. I think Strickland won, but definitely not a bad decision to give to Cannonier, So it is what it is, man. If you don't want it to go to the judges, just finish it.
It wasn't controversial like a Patty the Batty Pimblett and a Jared Flash Gordon.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, to be honest, I was there in the arena. I was like, oh, maybe Patty won, maybe. But after seeing the fight, like, no way he won that fight, man. Sorry, Patty.
It is what it is.
Yeah, for sure. It is what it is, the fight game.
Could be unforgiving, but it could be on your side.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how the fight game goes for sure.
Yeah, man. It is. That's a fight game for sure.
And the Fighting Nerds.
MMA team, we're getting big, man. We're already 2 guys in the UFC. Me and a girl, Bruna Brazil, who got this amazing knockout in the Contender Series, female, like head kick. I don't know if you remember. But there's already me and her in the UFC. Next year, we have a bunch of guys that we want to show the UFC our work. So maybe 2, 3 more Fighting Nerds in the UFC next year. Let's see how it goes.
And let's talk about the champion, Potan Alex Pereira. He beat Israel Adesanya. Everyone thinks Israel's going to get the rematch, but what do you make of Potan? Do you think he's going to be the champion long term, or do you think he's someone who's going to give the belt away?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think he can be a champion too many like years because the wrestling background will make difference in a few more fights, you know. So the guys that he got in his first fight wasn't real wrestlers or wasn't he real guys that take the guys down, and he got taken down by all of them, unless Strickland that tried to brawl with him. He's crazy. But yeah, I don't think he's gonna keep like a champion for so many years. I even think that he's gonna come up the division because he's too much 185 for him, you know, like it's too much weight to lose.
Yeah, he was a champion in glory at the light heavyweight division, trains with Glover Teixeira, who's headlining that Rio card. Glover Teixeira or Jamahal Hill?
For sure, Glover. For sure, Glover. Jamahal is just coming right now. Like, I don't think he's ready for Glover experience, for Glover's power. For sure, it's MMA. Everything can happen, you know, but I definitely go for Glover in this one, for sure.
So what about you? When's your prediction to be fighting for the title? Hey, middleweight division, a lot of killers. A guy like Roman Dolidze goes from unranked all the way to 8, fighting potentially Marvin Vettori at number 4. What about you? Can we expect a similar year for you in 2023?
Yeah, actually, I think 2023, I want to do like 2 more fights, good fights. First fight, like in London card, when the top 20 guy. After that, a top 15. And then only 2024, you start climbing to the rankings like top 10 guys, top 5 guys. And my prediction is 2025, I will be with the belt for sure.
2025 prediction, final message for all the natural fans out there worldwide.
Thank you so much, guys, for all the support, for all the messages you guys sent to me. I hope soon the natural will be in stage for you guys to give another show, and it's bullying payback time.
He's the pro. I'm the Schmo, Las Vegas, Nevada. We're out.